Have you heard of the phrase, a picture says more than 1,000 words? I'm pretty sure that you have. And in this video, I'd like to share with you why I believe that that is utter bullshit. Hi, my name is Michelle and I'm your expressionista, your brand rebel, and the founder of the Be a Brand Rebel Academy. And I've always been obsessed with, expressing or, finding different ways of expressing myself, and specifically through language and through words. As a former copywriter, I have seen how important language can be and how misunderstood language is sometimes, because I see a lot of entrepreneurs that they're very specific about their visual identity, but they're not very specific when it comes to their wording or their language. And instead, they still try to adjust themselves to rules, for example, or they think that they should or shouldn't communicate in a certain way because, well, otherwise maybe people will think that we're not very professional. And what happens is that maybe they have this amazing website and they have an amazing visual identity, but the language doesn't really match. So it doesn't really show any personality. And the personality is all about the expressive part. So in this video, I'd like to explain the relationship between the two, the relationship between visual identity, or something that we see or we observe with our eyes first and foremost, and the importance of language at the same time. You as an entrepreneur, as the visionary, as maybe a marketer, whatever role that you have, it is your job to communicate the message of the business, or to communicate to clients why you're a good party for them and why they should work with you. But having said that, nowadays what we're seeing is that a lot of tools, marketing tools, are very much focused on the visual part, and that is important. I mean, look at, especially in, for example, the lifestyle industry, like fashion, travel, etc., etc. We want big, great pictures, big billboards which are primarily, visuals. They're primarily there to catch the eye. There's only little wording in it. But the little wording doesn't mean that there's no words at all. And even though Instagram, for example, a lot of people think that, yeah, but Instagram is only visual. I still hear people say that. Still, what you need to realize is that if you would only focus on the visuals and only focus on images, then you're leaving it up to people, the viewers, your audience, to make up their own story around that visual. And that's a problem. That is a huge risk. If you decide that, visuals are going to be the most important tool to communicate, then the chances are that people are going to make up their own story. This doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, especially if it's more of an artsy message, for example, and if you don't specifically want to guide people in a certain direction. But when you have a serious business and you have a brand and you want to influence people's beliefs because you want them to really thoroughly understand why they should work with you or why they should buy a certain product. In that case, I would not take the risk of leaving it up to them, because for 100 people watching your videos or watching your images, there will be 100 different interpretations. There will be 100 different opinions and stories that they will make up. So to make sure that all the images that you're sending out, whether it's on social media or maybe offline tools, it doesn't matter. For all these different marketing tools, you need words to tell your story specifically. You cannot simply rely on images alone. I still see that this happens. I still see national, international entrepreneurs who are just, sharing pictures without any explanation around it. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want to say? What is it that you want to tell me with this image? What is it that you want to tell me? Apparently, you're sharing this for a reason. Apparently, you're sharing this image because you have a certain goal with it, because you want me to see something or understand something. But if you're not telling the story around it, for me, it's just a picture. For me, it's just another picture. And what you want to realize is that a brand, building a brand, has nothing to do with the visuals alone. Like, you are not just a pretty face. Your brand isn't just a pretty face either. You know, you're a pretty, there's nothing to a pretty face if the mouth doesn't speak truth. I mean, it's pretty, you know, especially nowadays. Don't we all have a message inside of us? Don't we all have something, you know, like that has something substantial to it? Don't we want to, you know, inspire and move people with our message that goes so much deeper than just the superficial thing that we see? So my guess is that your answer is yes. My guess is that you feel that there is a message inside of you as well. And for that reason, I would like to inspire you or activate you, or, you know, just, you know, think about what your message specifically is. And of course you have a visual identity, and of course you can share all these lovely pictures, and you know, it's great that you're showing yourself. If you're showing yourself, that is absolutely amazing. I show myself as well because I am the face of the business. I represent my business. I am not my business, I represent it. And of course people like to see people. There's nothing wrong with that. But just sharing pictures for the sake of sharing pictures without a message is just useless. So I would urge you to never just share a picture without any content around it. Make sure that people get what you're trying to say. Sometimes a few words only can be enough. Sometimes you need a little bit more because you want people to start thinking about it. Make sure that those words really show the personality of the brand, or when you're doing personal branding, that they show your personality. Make sure that it's different so that people will, you know, really understand. And make sure that the story around it isn't just a picture perfect thing. You know, nobody's waiting for anyone who seems to have the perfect life. It's not interesting. Share your struggles, share what you've been through in the past, for example, because, you know, for you, communicating your journey and what you've gone through will actually inspire people. They can relate to it. They can actually feel that they're not the only one who've been through that. So, you know, words can have such a tremendous power, not just because they're sharing your message, you know, like you want to share it so that your audience will understand your message, but also because they can actually connect with it, because they can relate to it, because they can relate to your story and feel, oh my God, these people, he, she, whatever, gets me. And that is the power of language. That's the power of a message. That's the power of stories. So remember this one thing, and that is that you are not just a pretty face. There is nothing to a pretty face if the mouth doesn't utter the truth. Have a great day. I hope this inspires, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.